Welcome to Sands of Time, where history comes alive. Adam and Eve left the Garden of Eden. They stepped into a world they did not know. The sky was the same, but the ground was rough. The wind was colder. The land no longer provided without effort. They were no longer protected by the peace of paradise. Now, they had to survive. There were no cities, no shelters, no tools. The earth was wide and wild. They had no community, no neighbors, only each other. They were the first, but they were not meant to be the last. This is the story of what came next, the story of Cain and Abel, of violence and regret, and the story of Seth, a new beginning after tragedy. Through these early lives, we witness the rise of the human journey, one shaped by family, choice, and the long road towards civilization. After their exile, Adam and Eve settled on earth. According to the Quran, God said, "Get down, all of you, from paradise. Then when guidance comes to you from me, whoever follows my guidance will have no fear, nor will they grieve." Quran 2:38. On earth, life was hard. Adam had to grow food with his own hands. He dug into dry soil and waited for rain. He learned how to plant seeds, how to care for crops, how to protect them from animals. Farming did not come naturally. Each lesson was learned through trial and error. He observed the birds, the insects, the cycles of the moon. He understood when to sow and when to reap. Eve supported the home. She cooked, gathered wild plants, and helped shape the rhythm of daily life. She made clothes from animal skins. In time, she gave birth to their first son, Cain, or Abel. Later came a second son, Abel, or Habil. She felt joy and pain in motherhood. Each child was a new beginning. The two boys grew up in the same world, but they saw life differently. Cain followed Adam and worked the fields. He became a farmer. His hands were rough from the soil. His eyes watched the clouds. His life depended on the weather. Abel became a shepherd. He led animals across hills and rivers. He slept under stars, walked with the flocks, and learned the language of nature. One day, both brothers made a sacrifice to God. Cain brought produce from his harvest, grains, fruits, vegetables. Abel offered the best of his flock, a strong and healthy lamb. The Lord looked with favor on Abel and his offering, but on Cain and his offering, he did not look with favor. Genesis 4:4-5. Each offered a sacrifice, and it was accepted from one but not the other. The latter said, "I will kill you." The former said, "God only accepts from the righteous." Quran 5:27. Cain was hurt. He felt rejected. Why had God accepted Abel's offering but not his? He compared himself with his brother. He felt unseen, unloved. Jealousy grew like a seed in his heart. It hardened into resentment. He couldn't hide his anger. His face was darkened. His words became short. Abel remained calm. He spoke with kindness. "If you raise your hand to kill me, I will not raise mine to kill you. Indeed, I fear Allah, the Lord of all worlds." Quran 5:28. But Cain would not listen. One day, while walking in the fields, the anger took over. He struck Abel. The younger brother fell. Cain kept hitting, not realizing what he was doing, until the silence returned. Abel was dead. It was the first murder, the first time one human took the life of another. The ground, once innocent, now held the weight of blood. Cain stood over Abel's body. He had never seen death. What had he done? His brother did not move. His breath was gone. No one had ever died before. There were no graves, no funerals. Cain was alone with a terrible truth. Then, God sent a lesson. Then Allah sent a crow digging in the ground. to show him how to bury the corpse of his brother. Cain said, "Woe to me! Am I not even able to be like this crow and bury my brother?" So he became full of regret. Quran 5:31. Cain dug a hole in the earth. He buried Abel beneath the soil. This was the first burial in human history. He wept as he covered the body. He sat beside the grave until night fell. The stars above him bore silent witness. But the crime had consequences. "Your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. Now you are under a curse. You will be a restless wanderer on the earth." Genesis 4:10-12. The land would no longer grow food for Cain. He would not be able to stay in one place. He was banished from his family and sentenced to live in exile. Cain feared revenge, but God gave him a mark of protection. The Lord put a mark on Cain so that no one who found him would kill him. Genesis 4:15. This was the beginning of justice, mercy mixed with punishment. Cain left, bearing guilt that would follow him for the rest of his life. His footsteps were heavy, his nights were restless. The sound of his brother's name haunted the wind. Cain wandered east, to a land called Nod, meaning wandering. There he married and started a new life. He built a city and named it Enoch after his son. From this line came the first inventors and craftsmen. The Bible names his descendants: Jabal, the first to raise livestock and live in tents; Jubal, the father of music, who played the lyre and pipe; Tubal-Cain, a skilled metalworker who forged tools of bronze and iron. Though Cain's story began with violence, his children helped shape the future. They brought farming, herding, music, and metalwork. These became the foundation of human life. His city had tents and tools, sounds of metal striking stone. It had music in the evening, flutes and strings echoing through the valley. The people learned how to make fire, how to shape stone, how to trade and share. From Cain's line came innovation, but also warning. Whoever kills a soul, it is as if he had slain mankind entirely. And whoever saves one, it is as if he had saved all of mankind. Quran 5:32. Cain's mistake taught humanity a deep truth, that life is sacred, and taking it carries an eternal cost. In this chapter, Cain exiled to the land called Nod, where he married and started his life. But the question is, whom he married to? Because he is the children of first man on earth. This question has puzzled scholars, theologians, and viewers for centuries. Let's break it down clearly, based on religious, historical, and interpretive perspectives. Islamic tradition, tafsir, and hadith supports the idea that Adam and Eve had many children, and Cain married a sister born from a different twin pair. According to many Islamic narrations, Adam and Eve gave birth to twins, a boy and a girl. Cain and Abel were from different sets. Marriage was allowed only between opposite twin pairs, not same pair siblings. Cain wanted to marry his own twin sister, which led to jealousy and ultimately the murder. Cain is the son of Adam and Eve, the first human couple according to Abrahamic tradition. After being exiled for killing Abel, the Bible says, Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bore Enoch. Genesis 4:17. Back at home, Adam and Eve mourned. They had lost two sons, one to death, the other to exile. The silence in the camp was heavy. The fire crackled, but joy was gone. In time, they were blessed with another child, Seth, or Sheath in Arabic, meaning appointed or granted. God has granted me another child in place of Abel, since Cain killed him. Genesis 4:25. Seth was kind, wise, and observant. He resembled Adam in many ways. He was raised in the shadow of loss, but brought peace to the family. He watched the stars, listened to the elders, and prayed with his father. Islamic tradition says Seth was a prophet. Though he is not named in the Quran, many hadiths mention him. It is said God gave Seth scrolls, books of guidance, ethics, and law. Some traditions say Seth taught reading and writing, how to track time using the sun and stars, basic laws for family and community life. He helped preserve the message given to Adam. He taught the next generation to worship, to live justly, and to avoid the mistakes of Cain. He became the link between Eden and the long journey of humankind. Adam lived a long life, 930 years according to the Bible. He saw many sons and daughters born. He watched his family grow into tribes. He taught them how to farm, how to build, how to pray. He showed them how to make tools from bones and stones. He told them the story of the garden. Before he died, Adam passed his wisdom to Seth. He gave him the responsibility of spiritual leadership. Islamic sources say 50 scrolls were revealed to Seth. Hadith Ibn Hibban. Adam's final years were peaceful. He saw his family learning, working, and worshiping. He saw mistakes, but also growth. He had seen death, but also rebirth. When he passed away, Seth buried him. Some say it was in a cave near Jerusalem. Others believe it was near Mecca. The exact place is unknown, but his memory remained. Adam was not just the first man. He was the first teacher, the first parent, and the first prophet. His legacy was more than survival. It was guidance, courage, and hope. With Seth as leader, humanity began to grow and change. People formed groups. They learned to share land and food. They built homes near rivers and hunted in teams. They started to think beyond survival. They created stories. They buried their dead with care. They built tools from stone, bone, and wood. One of Seth's descendants was Enosh. At that time, people began to call on the name of the Lord. Genesis 4:26. This may have been the beginning of public worship. People gathered. They prayed. They thanked God together. In Islamic tradition, this was also the time when idolatry slowly began. People began to make images of the righteous, which over time became objects of worship. But God continued to send prophets to guide the people back. Archaeology shows that in this time, possibly during the Neolithic period, humans began to build permanent homes, domesticate animals, plant crops, make tools from stone, decorate pottery, hold burial rituals, possibly form early religious beliefs. Humanity had left Eden, but now it was building something new. The children of Eden did not return to paradise, but they carried its lessons with them. Cain and Abel taught us about emotion, jealousy, anger, love, and loss. Cain's exile warned us about the weight of choices. Abel's sacrifice showed devotion and peace. Seth brought wisdom and leadership. He helped guide humanity's early steps. From violence to invention, from burial to belief, this generation began the long human journey. They lived without maps or books, but they left behind the first chapters of our story. Join us next time on Sands of Time Origins as we follow early humans out of Eden, across deserts and valleys, through rivers and mountains, toward the great migration that reshaped the world.